Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to get the car up in the air, get everything, or as much as we can, underneath the car sorted out. We're going to put our flywheel on, get our clutch in, our gearbox mount, hopefully a shifter as well. So huge episode today. Hope you stay through all the way to the end. In today's video, we are picking up straight where we left off, organising our accelerator cable. I've decided to use the factory E36 cable and adapt it to the new pedal we built in the last video. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description and you can pop in and see that now. We started by drilling a hole in the washer as the E36 has a square mount. We're going to need to make this hole square so that the cable can snap in and sit against the firewall. Using a file, we made some small adjustments and made our round circle square, and now the cable should just snap into place. Next, I wanted to get rid of the plastic and rubber mount which connects the cable to the throttle body and replace it with something a little more solid. I found a nut that had the same thread as the accelerator cable. I cut a small slit in the nut so that it would slip over the accelerator cable and slid onto the adjuster. Next, I needed some washers and did the same thing, cut and slit so the cable would pass through it. Over to the car to install our newly modified cable. After clipping the cable into place and screwing the adjuster to the throttle body, it was time to pass the cable through the firewall. I found a grommet behind the brake master cylinder which managed to align perfectly with our accelerator pedal. After a few steps on the pedal, I can confirm it is all working perfectly. Maybe a little overexcited. Next, it was time to get the car in the air and tackle one of the biggest jobs, installing the clutch and gearbox. Luckily, when I installed the engine, I only put it in with one bolt. This made removing the gearbox very easy. I was happy to see I had already installed the spigot bearing as I was about to order one. The spigot bearing is used to support the input shaft of the gearbox. Time for the flywheel. We are going with a single mass M50 flywheel. This is much lighter than a dual mass flywheel, and well, I'm guessing you can tell just from the description, this one is definitely much lighter. A dual mass has a rubber bushing inside the clutch which helps soften the clutch engagement, making it not ideal for a drift. To get the clutch installed, I'm using one of my favorite clutch aligning tools. Just add the right size bush for your spigot bearing, thread it onto the front, use this cone and push it hard up against your clutch. Perfect alignment every time. When tightening the bolts, it's very important to take your time and do them up slowly, as this will start to put pressure on the clutch. Once you are sure the clutch is aligned properly, you can start tightening all the bolts down. Then you no longer need the alignment tool. This is one of my favorite tricks when tightening clutch bolts. If you don't want the engine to rotate, position the ratchet just above the crank at the center of the engine. You will be surprised how well this works. Now with the clutch on, we're ready to get our gearbox prepared. First, I add a little grease onto the spline to help it go into the clutch plate, then a little more grease for where the throwout bearing will need to slide. On goes the clutch fork, followed by the throwout bearing. Time to get our gearbox installed.
This is definitely a two-person job if you are not using a gearbox stand. Quick note, always make sure it's in gear, then you can turn the output shaft to get the spline to align with the clutch. Next, I needed to figure out how I was going to mount the gearbox. I was surprised that the standard BMW E36 bracket mounted to the bolts in the E82. This will be the perfect starting point to figure out how we make the gearbox mount a little later. For now, just something to hold up the gearbox will do just fine. I could see that one of the mounts almost aligned perfectly, so I got a piece of stainless steel and made a bracket to connect that gearbox mount to the transmission mount. Now I know what you're thinking, why stainless steel? Well, it was just lying around and it was the right thickness, a decision I will soon regret. Everything with stainless steel is much more difficult, from cutting, grinding and drilling. But after killing a few drill bits and a couple of grinding discs, the plate was soon bolted into place and the gearbox wasn't going anywhere. In a further video, we'll make a new gearbox mount. However, right now, we just want to get the car driving. Next, we need to make some adjustments to our gear selector. As you can see here, it's about 2 centimeters too long. Also, we need to make adjustments for the new angle of the engine, as it is sitting at less of an angle to make more room for our large turbo setup. After cutting, adjusting and welding the selector, I threw it on the lathe to smoothen out the shaft just a little bit. Back to the car, and now you can see the new position for the selector. For the gear shifter, I've decided to go for a chassis mount. Because I'll be installing this on my own, I cannot be above and below the car at the same time. So I decided to weld the nuts into place on the plate. This should, in theory, allow me to install the gear shifter without being under the car. In my personal opinion, if you're going to do this, call a friend. To get the lower ring to fit, I just had to make a little slot to let it pass through. After a lot of fiddling around, I finally got it all tightened down. I decided now would be a good time to just pop the park brake cable bracket in place just to make sure we had the right clearance. And don't worry, if you haven't seen me make this bracket, it's coming up in the next video. I have decided to compile the brake lines all into one video.
I was expecting to get a whole lot more done today. To be honest, that took a very long time, but at least now the car's back on the ground. We'll get it back up a little bit later on, just so we can get the tail shaft and things like that sorted out. So if you're loving the content, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and we'll see you in the next video.